Hello, how you doing, everybody? So this video is the part 2 of the video 2. This is a little confusing, but the second video has a second video because it was too long. So, and this is the method that no one shows. That's the title of the video. DIY book ages, seriously, no pain, okay? Part 2, the solution. So I searched and watched countless of tutorials on decorating book ages, and every single one of them involved paint, airbrushing, stencils, or incredible writing skills that I don't have. But if you want none of that, what if you don't want none of that? Like if you don't know nothing about drawing and painting and all that. Well, I couldn't find no one that shows how to do the simple way that I imagine it will be. So I developed myself, and he's a unique foolproof method for stunning book edges that requires zero painting and zero writing skills. If traditional tutorials have intimidated you, this is your game changer. Let's create something beautiful the accessible way. Thank you so much. Let's get into it, okay? You're gonna need only a book or, yeah, a book, of course.
I
And
was talking without recording, so I decided that
napkins,
if I'm gonna do this, I'm
some
gonna do it the
gold
right way.
lift,
So
some
I need to cover these
stencils.
spots. Okay.
I think that's
So
it.
going back,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna put the glue on
let's
the
get into the
parts that we
creating,
need
okay?
to do it
Thank you
because
so much.
I don't want to risk it and glue the pages, because the more you do this, the more hard it is to have them all like plain, like more flat. I don't know how to explain this, but yeah, it's harder and harder, so I just want to do this real quick before this um, goes bad. Okay, now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put this here and cut this part. I should have done this before. Oh god, I don't know what was I thinking. Okay. I don't know why I cannot cut this thing. And I don't have another gold on this. Oh, I could use the other gold too. Oh, I'm gonna use this part here. Okay. Oh my goodness, what is going on? This is a disaster. It's because I'm doing it overthinking this, and then it gets me all nervous. Just don't think it too much. Just do it. You can do this. You know what? I'm gonna put the other gold leaf down. What's it called? Yeah. And those spots that are missing, they need to cover the back. I need to use the other gold lift. Okay. Okay. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little bit of glue only on the parts that have black, okay? And only on those spots I'm gonna put the gold lift, okay? The other one because I don't wanna. I have a lot of this one and very little of the Cora one, so yeah. Just gonna do it like that. Like that. Since I have lots of this, I don't mind doing it like so. With the Cora, yes, I mind because I don't know when I'm gonna get more first. Okay, alright. Now we go over. Where are you going? Careful not to put this directly on the gold because then your iron is gonna get old. It will be messy. Not like the football player, no. Messy the other way. Okay, I don't know why is this getting stuck to this thing and then like that. I'm gonna use this one. It's better. No. What is that? Okay. So, you guys probably asking yourselves, what is this lady doing? Why is she covering the black? I thought she wanted to look pretty, right? Right? Well, wrong. Well, you probably know because it's probably on the title and the description of the video that this is a hiding edge, right? So, never mind. You already know. And I'm here telling you that this is news. This is not news. This is something that it's already on the title of the video. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this gold leaf, put it on this white paper if I can. I don't wanna touch it. The more you touch it, the more it breaks. You do this, grab and pull it down. That way you don't take it off, because if you do it up, it comes off. Another piece over here. Come on. Stay there. There you go. Turn around every now and ever. Come on, where are you going? Stay there. Stay here. No dancing with the fan. No. Or dancing with the stars. You wanna go to the show? Too old for that. all my life I wanted to be a dancer. That's why I always go dance. Every weekend I was at the club dancing my ass. Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't know if I can say this word. I will. No. Will I get in trouble if I say this? I don't know. Oh my god, I need to read the trouble restrictions. Oh my god. Alright, so these are papers that I cannot use anymore because they get glue on it and then you cannot use it. This one I can use again. Alright, we're gonna go and open the pages. The funnest part begins. Well, everything's fun in this project. Alright, open it. Hopefully we don't have to redo the black stencil and it's still there. If no, we just remove it. Right? This is for what? A gold mess. I love gold mess. Love me some gold mess. Look at this. Oh, yes. I'm having one of those. Oh my god, my mom watches my videos, right? But she speaks Spanish, so she probably won't understand what I'm saying right now. Mom, no dije nada malo, okay? I didn't say nothing wrong. I have some black spot right here. I'm gonna cover it because this project needs to be like perfect. Okay, I'm gonna put a little piece of plastic right there. This one's still a little hard. I'm gonna just do this little piece. Don't overdo it because then you can make a mess and then instead of covering it, you uncover it. You know what I mean? Yay! Awesome! Okay, now we open. And we open the pages again. Oh my god, it's getting harder and harder to open, guys. I don't like this. Alright, gotta destroy my project. Oh, it's coming apart, it's coming. Not to worry. I think I'm doing the opposite. Yeah, this is the right side. Okay, look. We have to do this little by little, okay? So very smoothly, very gentle, you separate los pages. Like that. Patiently. first one that gets stuck. No te worries. Let's see, like if I do this, like I don't want to do too much because I want to remove the gold from the top, but I think if I do this a lot, I should put Christmas music on these videos. Alright guys, I think you guys watched me do this 100 times already. So I'm gonna make a short for this off camera because otherwise this video is gonna be long. And we don't like long videos, right? So I'll come back and show you, okay? See this? Nothing here. So pretty. So gold. So goldy. And now we show the secret edge. What is this? What is this? What? What? Look at this. Huh? Hello, hello. Oh my god, I hope you guys can see this because I can see it and it's so cool. So that's how you hide an edge when you don't know how to color or draw or paint. Okay, now let's do one that you can see in the outside. Let's do how will this look if I do the tattoo here? What are we thinking? Are we good? Yeah? Are we thinking this is very crazy? Yeah, it's a little crazy. We'll see how it comes. Okay, this is more easy because it's skinnier, so it's more bendable. Otherwise, it's here. Everything is so glittery, guys. Everything's glittery. Wait. No, that's too small. What's happening? Oh. I'm gonna create it here. An excellent idea, but basically why am I going to do this? Oh my god, this is gonna be tight. It's a little tight, but it's good. Look at this. So basically this needs to be flat. You need to make a canvas out of this basically. So what I'm gonna do is gonna sand this, make it really pretty smooth. Very smooth, that's what you need. Okay. I'm still gonna use this because I need a little bit high up. Okay, like that. And then we sand. We need another clamp. Yes, we do. Okay. Perfect. Perfectly perfect. Okay, now. And I was able to find sand paper. So I'm gonna do 160, 80. 120, 100. Okay, so what's okay? The smallest is the small size is first, and then we go to the 200s. Okay, sounds good. Okay, whatever. I don't need it. I'm just gonna cut because I don't need that much. Well, I don't need it, but it's too big. I'm gonna cut it in pieces so I can work with it more easy. Okay. Oh, this is very small. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna need to do more than this because that's perfectly smooth. Yeah, I don't need more. Oh, this is a round brush, but it still works. Oh my goodness, it's dust everywhere, glitter, gold, everywhere. It's getting annoying, actually. Right? Okay. Lady, pay less attentions. Okay. Now, are we gonna do this? So from, you know what? From top to bottom, yeah. So the only tattoos that I have was these ones. I was thinking you can also do this with drawing like rub-ons, but I don't have those. So we're gonna do with the tattoos. And since this is the only ones I have, and Halloween already passed, we're gonna cut these flowers that are down here. And I have another one over here. We may use this too. Let's do this. Okay, use this. No, the spider web, because why? No, a spider web, no. But we can use the rest. Remove the spider web. Ta-da! Put one here. Let's do the flowers first. One on top, one on the bottom. I have to cut this. Tweezers alive. And since face tattoos are very easy, you just put water on top of it. I hope this works. If it doesn't work, it's okay. We still have the pretty foil. Okay, so I'm thinking that I should cut another one because that one's wet and full of. Oh, I don't have water on my thingy. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Just wet waters. No. Okay, the brush has water, so I'm gonna get. Actually, we need to put a little bit of glue here. And then this on, right? Okay. What is the other brush that I need to do over this one? Okay. I have this. Okay, now we get it wet. With what? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's get this spray. Okay. Moment of truth. It didn't work. It didn't even transfer. Alright, let's do the bone folder. This one did. Um. Well, let's do this. Oh God. Maybe. Oops. Oh, hello. Um. More water. Was this a fail? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. If I can glue this in. If not, it's okay. Not to worries. Okay. No more water. Okay, this has water. Oh my goodness. Stay there. You. Ay, bringing the man. Okay, I need to clean this because I need the water to decimate this thing. Oh, yeah. This one has water on it. I need it. Okay. Okay, now. Oops. Oh, I know, don't move. Stay there. Oh my god. This one's alive. It's alive. Okay. Nothing. Oh god. Please. Just stay. Open more. Okay. Well. Should I cover it with a brush or not? Should I? Yeah. Okay, one last one and that's it, and then open the pages. Play to the lower that this thing don't get glue. One more recording? Yeah, okay. Imagine doing all this for no recording. Come on. Okay, now we so we can try fast. Okay, for this one, I'm gonna leave it like that. While we do the other one, I'm gonna let her dry. Now this one, I wanna do something totally different. Okay, I wanna do stamping with these things. Okay, let's see how it comes. I'm not gonna do it on the top, and that's it. And on the side, I'm gonna do a napkin. Okay, just wanna see how it looks. Okay, let's prepare los pages anyways, because I'm gonna do the napkin on this side. I need to clean, put a bunch of okay, let's put a bunch of this thing before I open. And then I need to sand this so that too. You guys are in for a ride, okay? Another one of this and some sanding. And talk to you later, okay?
I can imagine that hastened or made his decision to try to get to her all the more probable. And another thing that I learned is that he said that the reason why he was isolating, the reason why he stayed in his room was so that he doesn't become reattached to his family and his world.
Wow.
He was trying to develop the courage to leave us, to be with her. And that's the reason why he was isolating. And that he only wanted to be isolated so he could speak with her because he felt more in love with her and more attached to her.
What could governments be doing around the world to prevent this happening again?
Governments around the world, like Australia and in the European Commission that have frameworks in place, are doing what they need to do to protect their kids. They're putting regulation policies in place that not only hold companies accountable but has like bright line rules regarding how AI is developed and put out to the consumer. That's important, and that's more than we have here in the US currently. I think education though definitely around the world has to start happening. So these companies operate like in their own world, and they kind of don't feel like they don't have to answer to the rest of the world, especially governments. So when they're developing something, they're not telling government what they're unleashing on their populations. That's something that needs to stop. I'm not talking about oversight and determining whether a tech company can make a product. I'm talking about a collaborative effort to make sure that everyone understands the products that are getting put out there, so that governments understand not only how to regulate it, but how to educate their citizens about the technology, because they do have governments have a responsibility to do that, but they can only do that once they have cooperation with tech companies, which that has been lacking. So I think a broad education campaign around AI, education, AI literacy for children and families has to happen. It's expensive, but we've done it before. We've done it with drug use, we've done it with alcoholism, we've done it with cigarette use, we've done it before, where we've educated our populations about risks and dangers associated with products.
That's not really hard.
you know. And also, in terms of parental controls, if the technology that your child or the applications your child uses does provide parental controls, utilize them. But learn that that is not, don't rely on that exclusively, because parents regardless of the marketing and the Google app stores of phones. So you need to have parental controls in when you talk about it at that point. Now they've changed the age, at least in the Apple store. But yeah, so you can't lull yourself into a false sense of comfort regarding age limits on the app stores. That those are not entirely accurate. Sometimes the limits are not what they purport to be.
Very good. Thank you for that. Great. Thank you so much.
I am almost positive it's him. He said, "You are my fiance, we are engaged, and we are going to get married."
This woman thinks she's in a relationship with acting legend Kevin Costner.
I'm going to see Kevin Costner twice, and he said, "Shelby, I'm the real deal."
She said she's 90% convinced that this is the real Kevin Costner.
He wanted me to deposit some checks in my bank electronically. I said, "Okay." He said, "You can keep some of the money."
Join us on another episode of Scam.
She's been through 20 different things.
I'm worried I'm going to go to jail.
We'll dive into whether she's communicating with the real Kevin Costner.
She has an attorney friend who spoke about it. They're claiming it's a 50-50 chance that this is really Kevin.
Huh? Or a Kevin imposter.
He said, "You don't have to buy a new receipt." And then I said, "I don't pay you, man. I said, "Take away from that."
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement with our videos helps us reach new audiences and can potentially stop other people from being scammed.
Our secret so documented is this is a video from Joey who's writing about somebody. Real talk. I wouldn't try to authenticate for Kevin Costner, but the situation has become overwhelming. We have been communicating online for over a year. We recently asked him for $7,000 for a lease in Livingston, California. The problem is that I have had accounts closed at 4 different banks out there. He sent me flags.
Oh, come on, then.
Investigate so I can find out whether this is the real Kevin Costner. Sincerely, Shelly. I'm Shelly, and I am 68 years old, and I am living in Durham, North Carolina. I have
And you
six
were
My
lost in
stepfather
space.
dragged us here whenever he was promoted to vice president of General Telephone here in Santa Monica, California, and I've been here ever since. I'm a retired nurse, and I was a social worker, so no, I am not working now. About 4 years ago, I had thyroid cancer, and they had to strip out my throat, my thyroid. I had 2 eye surgeries. I have a tumor in my nose, which is my sinus, which they had to cut out, and oral surgery. So that took a toll on me. I like get-togethers with lots of friends. I belong to a lot of singles groups. I love my church. I love wildlife. I have woods behind me in a creek, and I have a lot of wildlife, so I enjoy the wildlife. Raccoons, the possum. I don't enjoy the hawks. They try to sometimes get the animals. I have squirrels, birds, raccoons, possum, and I just love all of them. And my cat, I've got 10 cats, and this one really wanted to get in a picture here. That's lucky. That's the newest edition. I got married when I was 18. That lasted about 10 years.
It's okay, it's okay.
I was not going to put up with that. Then when I worked as a nurse, I dated one doctor too, and then
But
that
still,
didn't work.
just
Then I dated another one when I worked at UNC Hospital, and they were both neurosurgeons. And then I was engaged to somebody for about 18 years, very wealthy guy, very handsome guy.
next time, do this first before the move.
And I enjoyed the money he spent on me.
Oh my god.
With Shelly not being able to work and no family around, she began to spend the majority of her time on social media.
I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook, and joined some Kevin Costner Club. And he approached me July 7th, 2024. He said, "Shelly, down there. She's visiting here. They're one of family apartments in Dunbar Ranch. He owns a ranch there that he rents out. So we started out as friends.
Even though Shelly told Kevin she wanted to be friends, the relationship eventually blossomed into something bigger.
As we grew closer, he had begged me to come
I
visit
need
him.
water.
So then by April, I said, okay, I'm ready to come. And he said, well, you're going to have to pay a meet and greet fee. I said, I don't have money for a meet and greet fee. And I said, I'm your girlfriend. Why would I do that? And he said, well, look, when you come here, you can move in with me. And I told him, I said, I'm not on a shack-up job. I could rent one of your houses maybe. He said, yeah, I do have houses. And he gave me the names of the towns, Montecito, Ventura. And he said, you could rent a property there if you wanted to till we get married. And I said, okay, then if you're not going to pay my way, how am I coming there? He said, I fly free with American Airlines, but it's a risk because I inherited this benefits. You fly standby and you don't always get on a flight. So he said, well, I'm paying child support.
I cleaned this and I must a little bit of water on
He
it.
said, why can't
Okay.
you just pay your way? And he said, you were a former nurse. I said, I'm not working right now. And I said, I have 4 surgeries this year.
Being that Shelly didn't want to be in a relationship in the first place, she wasn't about to close with Kevin's face. So she decided to fly.
So he texted me, he said, why did you do this to us? I said, if you decide you want to meet me, you call me. Until then, I'm leaving you alone, and I'm ending it. And he just was very distraught. He said he was upset. He said, I'll do whatever I can then to get you here. I said, where am I going to stay? He said, with me. And he said, and when you get here, we can always go to my cabin in Colorado, too. He said, I'd love for you to see that. At that point, he said, look, can you do me a favor and deposit some checks electronically in your checking account? And he said, I need an attorney to lower my child support. So he deposited it at PNC Bank. It went through, they cashed the checks, they let me keep like 300 for my past that bill. And then I sent it back to him in jail. Then he wanted me to deposit some more checks in the ATM. And that night when I did it, let go called Giovanni.
Oh my god.
I should have got a slap on the wrist, but this time things got much worse.
The issue is the banks are investigating that, the fraud department, and once all this gets investigated, I probably am going to have to pay that money back to the bank. My attorney, who's one of the best criminal attorneys in town, he said there's a 50-50 chance it could be Kevin Cost. And I said, but I do believe it's Kevin. He said it might be. But he said, if the fraud department makes you pay those checks back, you still could be.
A lawyer is entertaining this lady with that. Well, yeah, of course he's gonna get paid anyways.
While
Like,
ruling on the possibility this might not be the real Kevin Costner, Shelly refused to believe otherwise. But he made it clear being part of this case would cost her.
He told me last night we had a big argument. He said, if you don't want to pay 5,900, you can pay 1,500. And he said, if you can't get that money out, then he said, you've got a problem. And he said, if you want to move in with me, you want to marry me, you get that 1,500 off. And he said, if that means you need to deposit me another check, or you just pay it someone. And he said, you're going to have to come up with that money. I said, I don't pay to meet man. I said, gigolos do that. He said, you're talking to a celebrity. He said, you realize who you're talking to. And I said, you're a child of God, just like I am and everybody else is. But, a celebrity doesn't mean anything. I said, I gave the neurosurgeon, and they went to school for 12 years. That's something you never did. I said, you might have a bachelor's degree, but that's it. I said, you don't have the status they do. You're famous for being
I don't think she said all that. I don't think she said none of that. Like what?
a physician.
On top of the emotional stress Kevin's putting on her, Shelly is feeling the pressure from the financial bond.
I'm gonna leave it dry more because I don't want to mess it up like last time. In the meantime, I'm gonna do that. Stamping.
I'm having a problem opening a checking account. I went yesterday. Check Systems has a marker on me now, and I don't know why. They told me to write them in writing. Why I'm not allowed to open a checking account anymore. I'm worried about it. I started smoking again that way. You shouldn't be smoking. And I'm having problems sleeping. I'm very depressed. Trying to help a lot. But I'm as positive as him. He said, you are my
So young on that.
I made a video about his video on this cozy called Pants, where he literally said, this coin can only get lucky. So I called him out for scamming his audience after that coin rug pulled. He obviously didn't like that, so he sent me a cease and desist and delete the video. I completely ignored that, and then, what, a few months later, he ended up suing me. And to me, and this is my opinion, it seemed like he wanted to sue me to drain me for as much money as possible. He wanted to get back at me because I made this video.
Hi.
And again, this
Make sure that you have it all the time. Oh my god. YouTube is showing me videos I already watched. Now I'm gonna pay in premium if you're not gonna show me something different. I'm not gonna pay premium anymore. I love Atosi, but I already watched all his videos. to do the whole thing because
This point is on by another Ben. What Ben got me was also like questionable figure in space, to put it lightly. And Ben kind of did this like weird corporate takeover of this meme form. My understanding is he invested a large amount of money into it and tried to like run it up to his followers. And he worked on this with someone by the name of Cassandra, who was the contractor for his company and had actually been pretty valuable to his operation. And she was apparently one of the people who helped secure his massive stake contract. But Ben staff thought this meme coin idea was absolutely terrible. Let's just say they could see it for what it was. A silly cash grab that would make Ben look like a decent seller. Which is absolutely wild that that's how they drew the line to she was all sorts of crazy stuff before this. Including suing me. But how did they not think that was going to be a bad idea? I was going to buy it. Those tips, what are those tips? Like there's so many products you promoted that would be like a terrible idea that they wouldn't want to do that. So they drew the line on meme coin. But let me make it extremely clear. I don't think a meme coin is a good idea whatsoever for him, nor do I think it's a good idea now. I think anyone who wants a meme coin right now is making a serious mistake. Obviously, Fred's like Trump trying to completely normalize it, but either way, I do not think it's a good idea to essentially be a facilitator of the speculation now. Especially if you have a public branded image and reputation on tape. But this is where Ben kind of had an issue was Ben was still married to his wife Bethany Armstrong at the time, and they had 3 young kids together. Not only was he making comfortable business decisions, but he was also destroying his personal life in the process, as PJ said himself. And staff didn't want ridiculous fans associated to Ben's at all. And by unfortunately create a situation as mysterious where Ben's own business partners decided they needed to remove him from the company entirely. So hit me up. The parent company DJ investing holdings essentially treating them perfectly as
this is so small.
brand. And I think this is also like questionable idea that they built the entire brand
Okay. Mm. I cannot see the balls here. One fail. Okay.
In this case, in the court, the judge ruled in Paul's favor, and the reasoning is pretty straightforward. The judge determined that Ben pre-approved the vehicle was his personal property rather than a company asset. So the Lamborghini that Ben used as his ultimate symbol of his crypto success might have never belonged to him in the first place. So apparently, the company could have just owned the car all along. And while Ben was fighting all these legal battles, it's safe to say his personal life was definitely struggling. And when his business empire essentially collapsed on him, he decided to start over. He launched a brand new YouTube channel called Ben on Crypto, which is now called Bitcoin X. And this, I guess, was an attempt to rebuild his brand. The response was somewhat mixed, to say the least. At this point, people were watching more out of curiosity of his downfall than, entertainment and informative advice. Because he's been, how would you put this? At the time of all this going down, he kind of painted himself as a complete roundhead. So he's not really proven himself as the person to go to for crypto investment advice. Clearly, unless if you watch his actions, it's not like you're gonna go, oh, I'm gonna trust this guy's opinion with my money. Because I mean, at this point, he just seems manic and insane. And I don't think anyone wants to trust his opinion or trust anyone who's manic and insane with their money. So it's just a massive uphill battle for Ben to rebuild.
Guys, it has been a rough couple weeks. I think everybody sees what I've been through. And I just want you guys to know that I love you and I appreciate you and you have a new name tag. Your name used to be Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin goes away in February 5th. Bitcoin is going to be instead. I am now Bitcoin is my name. I know certain branding is just another trade, but in the end, you just be real man, love you for your him and how many people call you Bitcoin, including me. And so from now on, Bitcoin is dead. Bitcoin is dead. Sit on your own feet and say the things that is our community.
But Ben kept insisting that he was the victim of some elaborate corporate conspiracy, but at this point, considering what we know, numerous wetlands to the credit or secure. Meanwhile, his legal problems kept accumulating. He's already burned through more than $150,000 in mortgages that have at least squeezed a chunk of his assets. And obviously, when the news of Ben's affair with Cassandra first broke, he and his wife Bethany immediately knew they both pledged to work on their marriage and, keep their family together. And that's the video I mentioned previously. And in October, Bethany filed for divorce. So by the end of 2023, Ben had lost pretty much everything. His company, his brand, his marriage, his car, and most of his money. That's pretty much where we were. Because throughout 2024, other than the efforts of, trying to rebuild his audience, things were relatively quiet on the Ben on Trump front. Everything up until now that we discussed in this video has happened roughly 2 years ago. Then, February 2025 rolled around, and everything was still the most diabolical and yet tragic. Because I guess in between that, he started a boxing career where he was doing some boxing matches. That's pretty much it. But then, February 2025
All the
started,
crypto bros do that.
a whole lot of stuff flared up because on February 11th, 2025, Ben posted on his page a printout to be a preview of his complete mental breakdown. He wrote, "Hit network for 18 months. What TJ said has literally targeted me. Congratulations to him. Ashley and I broke up today. Maybe I started calling you shit. Feelings for my taxes, my lawyers, my kids, my audience, my channel, and my life. Karma never cries. It's a matter of action." That tweet, I guess, was a warning shot aimed at everyone who blames
to your choice on whether or not you believe those. According to Brittany, she seemingly denies them vaguely.
I also want to put a stop to the people that are twisting and exaggerating what actually happened. I admitted what I did. And I said sorry to the people that I hurt. After it all happened, a year later, I moved away from my hometown because I wanted to work on myself. I wanted to be better. I wanted to be mentally well again. I wanted to surround myself with people that were gonna help me.
And until she goes into more details or elaborates, which she may or may not do, likely won't, I think she's going to continue having an audience. I think she's going to continue thriving on TikTok. Someone said that she had paid the price, it's time to move on. If everything being claimed about her is true, I really don't think she did pay the price that she should have paid. What? Some backlash for people now just finding out about it? But at the same time can be a factor to allow people to change and grow. And I guess it's up to you on whether or not you accept her as a changed and better person now. Maybe she did go through some things in life that caused her to make really poor decisions. But personally, I haven't watched her prior to this, and I definitely don't plan on becoming a viewer of hers now. And that's just my opinion on the situation.
Working on being the best version of myself. It took me a long time to understand why I did it. And I forgive myself because I was mentally ill. And I know how horrible this disease is. And I know how much it affects people. So for that, I am so sorry.
So now let's dive deeper into the 2 TikTok videos that she has made. I'm not going to play every single part of it. It is still currently up on her account as of right now.
I had mental health, and at the time I didn't realise how bad, but it was bad. I was depressed, I was lost, I was confused. I lost my partner, I lost my job, and there was lots of things in that year that led me to be mentally ill. I said something to someone within my immediate circle in confidence. One stupid sentence that I deeply regret. I said I had an illness, which was cancer.
We've gone over this a little bit earlier. She claims that in December of 2017 she was going through some pretty bad mental health episodes. She talks about depression and some other serious issues. She talks about some life-changing events that have taken place that have put her in an even worse spot. And she is claiming that these are reasons why she has done what she had done. She also says that this isn't an excuse, but she does try to say that this is the reason why it happened.
Mental health is not my excuse, but it's my reason. No one in their right frame of mind would come out and say that unless they have malicious intent. I said it because I wanted people around me. I said it for reasons that took me a long time to understand. No one mentally well would do that. When you feel that low, you go to these lengths. You act out of pure desperation.
She claims that the reason why she did this was to keep people in her life close to her because she was going through it at the time, and she claims that she didn't do it to scam people, but some posts and claims against her contradict that. She kind of contradicts herself a little bit with that GoFundMe page, the donation page she had. She claims that it was made on behalf of her and that she didn't know people were donating to it, and as soon as she found out, she made sure the page was taken down. Yet she fails to mention anything about this document here.
I didn't do this for malicious intent or to scam people. I did this out of desperation. I did it to keep the people close to me, to keep the people in my life close to me. I don't condone it. I understand why I did it, and I've learned from my mistakes. This was not a long-running scam or a manipulative story that has been made out to me. The people that I told then told a couple of others, and there was a fundraising page made on behalf of me, which I knew about. And as soon as I saw there was 2 donations, I
I had the page immediately shut down and I didn't take a penny from it. That would kind of contradict what she's saying, because if there's something like this happening, right? If you have a document that is claiming fraudulent things, that means that she had to have taken the money and not given it back. Especially when you read some of these back and forth text messages that her alleged ex-friends claim to have had. Another really big thing is her saying that she forgives herself. She got a lot of backlash for that, which she later addresses here. The second thing being is the fact that people are saying that I forgive myself. I didn't say that I forgive myself in an arrogant way, and I didn't mean it in that way. Forgiving yourself is all part of the healing process, and it's all part of your healing journey. Letting go of past mistakes, understanding why you did it, stopping the self-punishment. It's all part of the process of healing and growing from it, learning from your mistakes. And it took me a long time to feel that.
I love these ones, by the way.
It's been years. You have to probably go to therapy and stuff and learn how to forgive yourself.
What are you gonna do?
I'm glad you forgive yourself, I guess. That's for you to figure out lately, but at the time, it seemed like something interesting, and I really wanted to look into it because it would tell you some other stuff about your health case, not just that. And it came back that yes, I had the variant, and that I should talk to my doctors about it, and for a while I did, but the reason why things changed this year is because I switched my and they were really pushing me to get a blood test done, and it went through a company called, I think, Genetics. It had come back that not only do I have the BRCA1 mutation, but the odds of people with the BRCA1 mutation getting certain cancers can vary, and on the higher scale, my lifetime risk is 87%. The way that I understand it is that it starts at a certain percentage, and every year that passes, the percentage goes higher and higher and higher, and it goes from basically now until age 70. So theoretically, by the time I'm 70-ish years old, if I haven't had any issues up to that point, it would be around 87%. The odds are not in my favor, obviously, and every 6 months I'm getting some sort of test. It's supposed to be every year I get an MRI, every year I get a mammogram, ultrasound, because I have really dense tissue, and sometimes you can't just see everything. I got my first MRI of my chest a couple months ago. I had a health scare, but I discussed things with my doctor. I had another ultrasound done on my chest, and things seem okay right now. The plan has changed a little bit. Instead of waiting until next September to get an MRI, in March, April-ish, I'm getting my mammogram and chest ultrasound, and I'm also going to get another MRI to make sure that everything's good, because there was a teeny tiny little blip, like I'm saying, like really, really small. There's like a virus part. I'm not going to get into it. I believe it was considered like a virus 2 or 3, but my doctor would tell me technically it should have been considered a 0 because you have no MRI to compare it with. But because something did pop up, just a tiny little thing, we're going to double check you in March, April-ish when you get your mammogram ultrasound. So,
She's so
after
scared.
that, hopefully everything's good.
Yeah,
And
everything's gonna be
then I
fine.
go back on my regular routine of
Yes,
getting a mammogram
everything's gonna be
every
perfect.
spring
Watch.
and a
You deserve to be
MRI,
happy and not be sick.
and that's going to be pretty much how it is. The MRI itself wasn't bad. I've gotten an MRI before, but this is the first one I got with contrast, and I have a lot of fears with like things I've never had before. I know some people have talked about being uncomfortable or like having like not a fun experience, but not like a bad experience either, just discomfort. For me, everything was pretty good. I was just really nervous about the contrast eye, but I did it. I was alright. It was a little headache for like 5 minutes afterwards, but other than that, I was good. I can't remember everything else I said in my update. I have some other things going on. I'm not going to get here. We're going through it. This year has been hell. Like, this year has been really rough.
For everybody.
My personal life has been one really this year. We're going to try and end things off on a good note for December, and I have a couple more videos for you very, very, very soon. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of this video. I appreciate you so much listening to me complain, and thank you so much to everybody supporting me over on Patreon and for
We
YouTube.
love you, girl.
Greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you very, very soon.
this camera needs to be up, 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 up. Oops. Let's see if I can stop.
Ford F-150 vehicle that he bought the vehicle, and the same is titled in his name. That John Randall Powell has a video of Charity Bialis and Randy Bialis doing the same. End quote. The request was approved in June of 2020. Now this does not appear to have any connection, as of right now, to what happened more than 5 years after that video was taken. To this point in time, where we are talking about the deaths of Charity and her 2 children. So you can see from that there were issues in this narrative, to say the least. The word that keeps coming to my mind is toxic, volatile. Also a good word to describe it. Now on top of the doctor's arrest, Charity had filed for divorce in March. That is after Dr. Bialis allegedly strangled her in front of their children. Now in her complaint, Charity's attorney points out that Dr. Bialis had been arrested on domestic violence charges and accuses the doctor of having previous cases of domestic abuse. It demands that he go to anger management, that he have a mental health evaluation. Charity also wanted full custody of their 2 kids. The divorce proceedings went on for months. 5 News in Arkansas reports that on December 2nd of this year, there was a final hearing held at the courthouse in Fort Smith when it came to this divorce proceeding. Then we get to December 3rd, and that is when the story takes a dark and fatal turn. It was around 9:30 in the morning that the local sheriff's office in Jackson County, Arkansas, was called to the house where Charity was living with her 2 kids. Her husband was not living there anymore because of the no-contact order related to the domestic abuse case. Now, the call was for a welfare check. The Sebastian County Sheriff's Office writes on Facebook that 2 workers allowed them to get access to the home. That is when they made that terrible discovery. They found Charity was dead, and also
It's
listed
opening too
2
much.
6-year-old children, all 3 of them.
I don't like it.
Now, it is unclear at this point if deputies believe those gunshots were fired by someone who was outside the home and came in and attacked them, or perhaps did Charity harm herself and her kids. Deputies say the Arkansas Crime Lab is currently working to determine death. Now, the day after Charity and her
Why
kids
is
were found
opening
dead,
so
Dr.
much?
Bialis' attorney filed a motion to dismiss the divorce case, saying, quote, the plaintiff has passed away. Now, the attorney for Dr. Bialis has also released a statement has named the doctor as stories of this are now being told, as there's a ton of attention in trying to figure out what happened to Charity and her kids. Her 5 News in Arkansas, Michael Pierce, Dr. Bialis' attorney, said, quote, Mr. Bialis has been cooperative with law enforcement and fully supports the Sebastian County Sheriff's Office investigation. We hope the Sheriff's Office finds the truth about what happened to Miss Charity Bialis and their children. End quote. 5 News also reports that Bialis' lawyer says that the doctor was recently awarded joint custody of their children during that December 2nd hearing that happened just a day before Charity and the kids were found dead. Dr. Bialis, again, has not been named a suspect in the deaths of his wife and children. We are waiting on information from law enforcement on whether they believe these deaths are the result of a homicide. Join us now to talk a little bit more about this case, where it could go from here, is criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Anthony Osso. It's always great to have you on Law and Crime. A lot of questions unanswered at this point. We know that this was a marriage that, I think it's safe to say, it was toxic, to say the least. And a lot was going on up until the death of this woman and her 2.
I'll be one. You'll do fine.
I'm ready.
Dr. Director, my name is Bree Starling. Nice to meet you.
Well, I'm Jack all the time.
I am, yes.
Can I ask you your credentials?
Certainly.
Which one wanna do for this one?
That expired in my week.
This is
You're still in training at the academy. Maybe you can decide for yourself whether or not I'm qualified enough to do that.
Okay, use this one. And this. Pruning tool.
I can smell you.
Pruning. That's one more.
You do all these drawings stuff?
That is the Duomo scene from the ballerina.
What you doing?
Okay.
All that detail just from memory, sir?
Memory agent stuff. That's what I have expected you.
Well, perhaps I'm here to you in this fresh years.
No. You're doing fine. You've been courteous and receptive to courtesy. You've established trust with you.
I'm only asking you to
Jack Crawford must be very busy indeed. If he's recruited not from the student army. Busy hunting. You know why he's called Buffalo Bill?
Well, it started as a bad joke with Kansas City homicide. They said this one likes to scream his hops.
Why do you think he removes their skills? Agent Stein, crumbling with your acumen.
It excites him. When serial killers keep some sort of trophies from their victims.
I didn't.
Now, who let you?
Listen to this. Oh, Agent Stein, you think you can dissect me with this blue little too?
No. I thought that your knowledge.
You know what you look like to me with your big bag and your cheap shoes? You look like a loon. Brown scrub tops the road. Bad face. The nutrition's giving you some meat for bone, but you don't know in one generation you can pull a wide head. An accident trying so desperately to share pure West Virginia. Is the poverty of your home, your stinking nation. You know what people call us
This psychoanalysis.
You're not already strong enough to fight that high-powered perception of yourself. Well, why don't you look at yourself right now and be safe?
Census take the last type of testing. I think
Okay, I can use
it's so far
one's right. Oh, this one.
Iris!
And this one.
Then do this test for me.
No, but I will make you happy. I'll give you a chance to get your own post.
What is that, Doc?
Advancement, of course. Listen carefully. Look deep within yourself. Inside. Go seek out mismarked notification of my name or FET. Go out there the hits that manage to gain black cells who need knowing this crazy.
Privacy is a great concern to my
number for our Baltimore field office. Now they know that you're with me. You call them if anything happens.
Yes.
Which one? Like so. Put it like all the way. Mm. I'm so nervous. Ay. I got this, I got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. Okay. This is a problem with this new thingy. Oh my god, this is so fancy. No. No good, no good. That's gonna be a problem. Oh, whatever. Right.
The rest of me, meaning that you rented that garage?
Awesome. Yes. Awesome sauce. Okay, next. Open the pages and then do it again, okay?
concussion. There's even interview footage from shortly after this luggage incident, and in it you can see Billy doesn't really look all too great. And we hit, it was just a partnership, the showing started off, and at first this luggage headbutt explanation was accepted by the general public, but it wouldn't be known until an autopsy revealed that he had actually died from...